Hello, my name is Trevor, and I'm with Consumer Credit Mediation. I wanted to discuss with you today a very important topic that is taking part in today's society that is impacting consumers and businesses throughout the world. If you process merchandise or your product or service through credit cards, this is a presentation that you will find very informative. But first, let me just talk to you about the players and who the individuals that this affects each and every day. We have the merchant, you as an OEM, an original equipment manufacturer, the person that produces the goods and services, and then who you are actually selling to is the consumer. Now, if you use credit cards to process your orders, there is a processor as well as a credit card company, Visa, American Express, MasterCard, and others. What I want to do is walk you through a scenario that is similar to what you might be experiencing today and discuss with you the issues that take part in a chargeback situation. The first step is obviously your product cost. Now this is just an example, but let's say you've got a widget that costs $20 hard cost for you to manufacture and to produce the product. That is a cost that is associated with that. Now you also have marketing costs. Now this could be an array of marketing costs from a sales team, their commissions, any type of advertising, newspaper, TV, radio, if you've got Google ads, if you use social media like Facebook, MySpace, YouTube, Twitter, etc., or if you're doing a cost per click, cost per acquisition, a cost per lead. There's several different ways that you can acquire a customer, but obviously at the end of the day there is a cost associated with that, and I'm associating $30 for that cost. Now your sell price for this product is $97. Now based upon your processing fees and your historicals, you could have a price for processing a cost of 2 to 5% depending upon your processor and your rates. So that comes out to what your cost associated with that, and then obviously your overall product profit is $40. So you're at $40 product for every widget that you sell. Hey, that's great. You've got great margins, and you're on the way to success, that American dream of everybody is trying to achieve. Now, I want to introduce you to something that happens quite often. It's happening more and more, and you don't even realize the impact that's having upon your business. And that is a chargeback. Again, a chargeback is an individual can either online or they can contact their bank and state, for whatever reasons, I did not purchase that product, someone stole my credit card, I didn't like it, it was the wrong color, a variety of things that takes place. But one thing of note is, majority of the time, they do not contact the merchant to resolve the issue. They go to their bank or their credit card statement online, and it's just a click of the button that they say chargeback, and then they, reasons why. And what happens is quite damaging to you as a merchant. The first thing that takes place is that the dollars, that $97 is immediately withdrawn from your account, and it goes back to the consumer. Now you have no say into that. Even if they do what's called friendly fraud or an illegal chargeback, they can immediately do that, and you as the merchant are guilty until proven innocent. Now from that, again, you received a $97 hit on that. Now that's just the first thing that takes place. The second thing that takes place is there's actually a chargeback fee for every chargeback. Now this is assessed by the processor, and obviously it runs all the way up through the chain to the credit card companies. This can be upwards to a $35 per chargeback transaction. So if you have a product cost of a product purchase at $97, again, you have a negative $97 now and a negative $35 price point. So you've wondered, wow, I did have a $40 profit there, but actually you do not have a $40 profit any longer. You have a $185 negative impact on your business because of that person on that negative chargeback. Now, one thing to note here is if you are a product or service that has a recurring education or a product that is a monthly subscription, and they can go back and they've gone and had 5 different purchases, they can go back and go to that 5 monthly product purchases or services and do a chargeback for each individual one. So there's a $97 fine for that chargeback every single month, as well as the fee of $35 for every chargeback that they submit that. So this can truly negatively impact your business and how you can actually do that. Now there's several other things that take place within that. You as a business will have, depending upon your chargeback fees and ratios, might not be able to process credit cards anymore, which is a lifeblood of your ability to run your business. If you can't process credit cards, you might as well just shut your doors. So where does consumer credit mediation come in? And this is where we come in. When you've got a chargeback with the processors, the credit card companies, and your consumers, what we do is we are the mediator between those 3 different individuals: the consumer, the processors, and credit card companies. And we help you as the merchant to fight those chargebacks and those fees. Now, there's other tangible costs that are associated that I just want to make sure that you realize. Again, you've got product costs, your acquisition, you've got processing fees, there's chargebacks, there's a chargeback fee, and then you as a merchant, if you're going to fight the chargebacks, there's an overhead to fight the chargebacks. You have the individual's hourly wage. You've got all the things associated with that employee. If you've got health benefits, any other benefits associated with that employee, their lights, their internet access, their computers. I mean, all that other overhead that is assumed for that individual. Now, again, if you've got their fully burdened employee costs, that could be anywhere between a 50% increase or a 100% increase upon their hourly wage. And so depending upon what they are, a $10 or $15 an hour employee, it's actually anywhere between $15 and $25 fully burdened hourly wage for that employee. Now, there's also some intangible costs associated with that. If you've got high chargeback ratios, you're not going to be able to, again, process credit card statements or purchases. You have a reputation in the processing industry. If you've got a high chargeback and you are on the match list or get TMF'd, it's harder to get other processors to be able to represent you, and you can actually process through them. You also have an online reputation for brand management. What are consumers saying about your product? How are you dealing with the negative press that you might be receiving for that? And then obviously, as a restate, again, the number one thing is your ability to process credit cards online. Now, what we do is, again, we are the mediator between this. So we will fight the chargeback that takes place. We will shield you from that, and we'll actually work with the consumer as well as the processor company that you work with to be able to get back that chargeback win if it was an illegal or invalid chargeback. We have the highest rate of wins in chargeback history. The second thing we'll actually do is we will work with the credit card companies and the processors to be able to get back that $35, that fee that was assessed, and we actually work with the consumers on getting that. So it's going to actually help out in your overall reputation with your processors and your credit card companies. Another thing that we do is we actually educate the consumer and help them realize that their online credit footprint and how their ability to make purchases online and in person may be affected in the future as a result of filing an invalid chargeback. And the benefit to you is by educating the consumer and by working closely with our specialists, merchants are lowering their chargeback ratio significantly, which keeps them in business longer, protects their reputation, and in processing world, that is your lifeblood. And the next thing we do is through we've actually teamed up with a company called SM3. They are a leading social media optimization group that helps merchants overcome statements made by individuals about the merchant that are not true. And as a benefit to you as a merchant, we're able to eliminate any existing negative and unwarranted press and even better present you from that happening again. Now, remember what we chatted about earlier, where we discussed the tangibles and intangibles. Now you're not wasting your customer acquisition fees, product costs, processing fees. You've lowered your bottom line by not eliminating the overhead necessary to effectively fight chargebacks. Ultimately, at the end of the day, it puts more revenue and money back into your pocket. I want to thank you for your time for this brief presentation on what consumer credit mediation can do for you and your business to making sure that you are on top of your chargebacks and to mediate those chargeback fees to making sure that you are in business longer. Thanks for your time.